All right, guys. Just gonna be a quick overview of items and research. I'm gonna do them both because uh, they go hand in hand. So let's talk about items. What are items? Let's go to the inventory. With items and I'm sorry. Items you have your food, weapons, building materials. These are items when I'm talking about items. So let's go look at items. Items have two aspects. They have what they are and how rare they are. Every item has a type. And when I say type, say like string. In this tree, all these little trees right here, every item in a tree is one thing. So you have this string, you have this vine, you have this spider silk. All these are strings. So what does that mean? Let's have a look. Crafting. Say if I wanted to craft some cloth armor, whatever. You see this right here? It says it requires string, and it's only a picture of the the first material in that tree, but it's just saying a string, so everything can go in there. So I can put this in there. That's the thing that was in the beginning of the tree, right here, the string tree. I can put that in there, but also I can put anything that is also in the string tree, which is this right here and this right here, the vine and the spider silk. So basically, that's just saying, any string can go into that tree. I was confused about that a little when I first started. And over here, you have leather, and I have three types of leather. Regular leather, which is what it's showing, but I have a little other pieces of leather, and each of those can go in that. So let's go back to the research tree. So yeah, every item has a category, and all these are categories. The second aspect of a material is how rare it is, and rarity is determined by how far out these materials are. So I have the string. It's tier one. It's not very rare, but if I go out another step, these two items are tier two. If I look at another tree, this is the metal tree. You see everything in here is metal. If I go to the first one, I have iron. Iron is tier one. If I go out one more, I'll either be at steel, silver, and gold. All these are tier two, and this is tier three. And it's the same for everything on here. One, two, three, three. So what does all that mean? I'll show you. It's mainly affects crafting. This is a big part of the game. So in order to explain that, I have to explain crafting real quick. Crafting has these three categories. You have primary material, secondary material, and catalyst. I'll start off with talking about catalyst. Catalyst doesn't mean anything important. You just meet the requisites, but it doesn't have any effect on the item. So you put your trash loot in here. So disregard catalyst. Catalyst is just trash. The two important things is primary and secondary. Now, how good your item is determined how rare it is. So if I use common items, which is to be the tier one, remember the string was in the tier one, and I use leather in the over here. Leather is a tier one. I get a very weak armor shirt. But if I use better material, I'll have let's say if I use vine and I use scaled leather, which I'll show you in the skill tree. See, the scaled leather over here is tier 2 and spider silk is tier 2. So both items I'm going up a tier, so it should be a better shirt I'll be making, or whatever it turns into. So I'm going to use what I say, spider silk and scaled, and like I say, anything in Catalyst just to complete the item. Remember the first item was 2, but now it's 4 with 1 shielding. So the what material that you use affects what item you bring out. Another key thing that took me a while to notice, a lot of people don't know, is it doesn't matter what is in the primary and what is in the secondary. The primary material, whatever you put in the primary, determines what the item's going to be, but just by namesake. And I use these 2 items as examples. If I use spider silk, no matter what I put here in secondary material or whatever I use in Catalyst, it's always going to turn into a silk tunic. So let's say if I put vine here or amber there or just leather here, it's still a silk tunic, but the properties are changing. So let's go back to leather. This is the stats for silk and leather. I get armor 3, but we're gonna switch these around and it should have the same stats because I'm using the exact same items. I'm just switching them around. The only thing that's going to change is the name and the look of the item, but all the values would be the same. So I'm going to put leather, and I'm going to put silk right here. And now it's a leather shirt instead of a silk shirt, but you know the value is still the same. Still 3 armor. Even these attributes over here. I'll look at it. We got 118, 1 and 7. 118, 1 and 7. So yeah, like I say, that kind of confused me at first. I thought maybe primary is more important and secondary is more important, but nah, it doesn't matter. Just use whatever good items that you want to use if you want to make good equipment. So that is that. Let's talk about research for a quick second. Research, and I'll get back to items after I talk about this real quick. It's something I missed, but research. What does this mean? When you're researching gathering, you have gathering, crafting, and construction. Gathering. The only thing gathering does is unleashes the nodes. So let's say these check marks are stuff that I research, and I research spider silk. And where is spider silk? I have some either to the left or the right. I can't remember. Right here. This is spider silk. I unlock spider silk, so it released the node. I can come over here and gather spider silk. Get all the spider silk I want. That's the only thing that researching materials does. It gives you a node to gather, but it doesn't restrict you from using that. No matter if I had spider silk research or not, I can still make this silk, what is it called, tunic, this silk tunic, because you can find these materials through various sources besides gathering, like spiders. Where are spiders? Here's some spiders right here. If I go kill them, I'll get some spider silk. Let's say if I do a quest, a random quest, which I don't see any random. These are like over here. I might get some spider silk there, or another way to get material is using a recycling thing. Let's say if I found one of these silk tunics right here, I see it's made out of 8 silk. I could put that in the recycling bin and try to get some of that stuff out. And a lot of times you'll find items. I kind of dismantled a lot of items like that. But say like this, I don't really need this anymore. That's why no one's wearing it. If it's made out of string, but let's say it was made out of something that I really want. I think I do want string anyway. I can put it over here. I'll go ahead and do that. See, I kind of want some. Let's say if I wanted that string, I'll put it here, and it will give me some of that wood and some of that string. The point of me just showing you that is there's different sources that you can get materials to get stuff. Which, back to the point, even if you don't unlock these, you will still have access to get every material on this research screen. But with crafting though, well, with crafting also, I got right now I have armor and swords, so I'm able to make these things. Let's see. See, I can make swords and armor. I got light, heavy armor. I can make these things and get them at will, but not researching these things doesn't mean you can't get them. Like, I don't research axes. I like axes, and I have people with axes. You'll find axes in your adventures, or you might start with some. People will drop some, but you can still get axes. You just cannot make them. So like what I did with my research, I researched heavy armor because I wanted heavy armor fast instead of having to waiting to get armor. Which, back to the point, gathering, if you don't get unlock these gathering materials, you'll still be able to find them. Crafting, if you don't unlock these things, you'll still be able to find them. I'll still be able to find bows or maces at some point. Only thing that's different is with construction. You have to unlock construction to get these buildings. Some of the gods have a ability where you start with just one structure, but in general, if I want any of this stuff, I'll have to research to get it. This is the only you must research to utilize, unlike these various things. So that's it. I'll give a quick recap. Let me talk about food also. That's another thing. Food also has tiers. With right here, the fruits and vegetables, or the vegetables is like the lowest tier, and you have nuts and exotic fruit. What does that mean? Quickly, I'll also say higher tier materials, whether it's food or whether it's anything else, takes longer to gather. So say like this wood, I can get this wood quick, or I have this ancient wood, which is a tier 3 item. Where does it go? It will take me a longer time to get this ancient wood than it would be to get regular wood. It's the same way with food. I can get these vegetables really easy, but this exotic fruit, it'll take me forever to get it. But with food, let me show you. You remember when with crafting like armor, using a better grade material wields better grade armor? It's not the same with food though. You have cooking recipes. So if I use these herbs are a higher grade. You don't get a higher grade food item. The only thing higher tier foods affect is when you are constructing buildings. Right here, using a higher grade food. Fortunately, I don't have no higher grade vegetables or whatever, or nuts to give you an example. But using a higher grade food with like pastures or the cabbage patch will yield a better version of that building. But as far as food though, with recipes. It doesn't matter. Cheap stuff, good stuff. It only matters of the type, so you can make various different foods. But yeah, so I'll give a quick recap with items. Every item has a type. You have bones. All these are considered bones in the bone tree. All these are considered wood in the wood tree. All these are considered leather. And the other attribute is how rare it is. Is it tier 1, which is one off on the branch of this tree? Or is it a tier 4, which is, what is this? Moonstone. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have crafting. Catalyst. It doesn't mean anything. Just put whatever the cheapest crap you have in there to meet the requisite. And then primary and secondary. Both of these are equal. Primary only affects what the name of the item is, but the stats of the item, the value, is all going to be determined in what you put in here, regardless if it's the first or if it's the secondary. It doesn't matter. You can mix, match, flip, flop, armor 4. Armor 4, it's all the same. And then food doesn't matter whether it's high tier or low tier, only when you're making buildings. And you can always find various materials through recycling items that you don't want, or quests, or killing monsters to get what you want. And that's a quick overview of items.